Have you ever wanted to give someone a physical gift of Bitcoin? That is, literally hand them Bitcoin. But of course you can't because it's digital. And giving Bitcoin as a gift for birthdays or Christmas or Hanukkah or any other holiday is really just not legit. They can't unwrap it, they can't hold it in their hand, and you can't give it to them. So I've been in search of something that I could use as a way to give Bitcoin to someone. And I finally found two options, one of which we're going to go over in today's video. It's called the Opendime, and it's just a little PCB board, and basically you can think of it as a physical piggy bank for Bitcoin. And when you hand someone this, you hand them Bitcoin, or however much Bitcoin is on the device. It's made by the same people that make the cold card and the Sats card and another device called the Tap Signer, which I'm going to go over in a different video. So we got 3 videos coming up about these products. It's pretty cool. But in today's video, we're going to go through this physical bearer instrument of Bitcoin. I'm going to load some Bitcoin on it, and then I'm going to deactivate the device, and we're going to sweep the Bitcoin off onto a wallet. So if that sounds good to you, let's get to it. First thing we need to do is go to the Opendime website. And to do that, what you do is you take your Opendime device and you put it into your computer. Now, my computer does not have a USB-A port, so I have to use this little converter to convert USB-A to USB-C, put it in the computer. And this warning pops up, allow accessory to connect. Do you want to connect Opendime by CoinKite to this Mac? Okay, so I'm going to allow the Opendime to connect to the computer. And what happens is, you can't see this, it's off screen, is a hard drive appears on the desktop. I'm going to double click the hard drive and we're going to see what's inside the Opendime stick. Okay, here it is. All right, so it says support, index, readme, and Opendime. It's an executable file. Let's see what the README text says. Here we go. Welcome to Opendime. Write random files here to get started. So what you do is you can use a photograph, or you can go to this website, and when you enter this address in to your browser, it will automatically download a file, which I have over here on the side. And what that does, when you load this file right here onto the Opendime device, like a little mini hard drive, it creates the private key that you can use to send Bitcoin to. Otherwise, the Opendime doesn't ship with a private key on it, so it's sort of naked. But it does ship with the ability to create a private key and a wallet. So let's go ahead and take this file called random numbers that I downloaded from that website I just showed you, and I'm going to drop it onto the hard drive here, and we'll see what happens. And there we go. Oh, okay. So the file was imported and then it was deleted. Now, if I go to index.htm, what's going to happen, I think, is going to show us an address to send our Bitcoin to. But before we do that, I'm going to go to opendime.com, and we're going to look at the website and see what features this device has. So let's do that right now. Okay, here we are at opendime.com, and you can see that they do have a big advertisement for the Sats card, which is basically an Opendime that you can use 10 times in a row. Now, the Opendime is only one time. You can put as much Bitcoin as you want on this device, but you can only sweep the Bitcoin off one time, okay? So it's a sort of a single-use device. That is, think of it as a porcelain piggy bank that you put Bitcoin into until you have enough that you'd like to gift it or use it to purchase something. And then when somebody wants to retrieve the Bitcoin from the piggy bank, they have to break it, and it can't be used again. That's exactly what this Opendime is. But the second version, the Sats card, is able to be used 10 times, which is pretty cool. So let's see what else they have on this website. The first Bitcoin bearer instrument, Bitcoin credit stick. This device has been around for a long time. Some of the videos on this site are from 7 years ago. The videos are quite dated. And then so dated, they don't even have the video here anymore. This is the 4th version of the device, and that's what I have here. And have close-up pictures that I've taken here and here, the other side of it. And as you can see, it says flash drive 32 bytes. There's several different versions of this Opendime that are available, and I chose the one that makes it seem like it's just a flash drive so that people don't know there's, 10 Bitcoin on there. That would be great, wouldn't it? And these videos are just by regular people that show how to use the device. And basically what you do is like I said, you load Bitcoin on it. To break the piggy bank and retrieve the Bitcoin, you have to destroy the device. No, you don't snap it in half or anything, but there's a little hole on the back. If you look really carefully and you put a pin through this hole and it pushes the little circuit or resistor out or off the board on the other side. So you put the pin through the hole, it destroys that circuit, and it changes the configuration of the software on the device, and that allows you to sweep the Bitcoin into another wallet. And I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. All right, let's see what other features are on the Opendime. It acts like a read-only flash drive, works with any computer, Mac, Windows, Linux, etc. There's no third party involved. It's free. Well, the Bitcoin isn't free, unfortunately. It's ultra secure and it's compatible. I looked up the how long the Opendime device is supposed to last. It says up to 100 years that you should be able to store Bitcoin on this little fella. That's pretty cool. So if you're a severe hodler, this is for you. Let's go back to the hard drive and I'll show you how to send Bitcoin to the device. All right, here we are back at the contents of the Opendime drive, so to speak. I'm going to go to index.htm and it should reveal an address that we're supposed to send Bitcoin to. By using Opendime, you agree to our terms of use. Okay. Here we are at the instruction page to add the private key to the Opendime. And I thought I already did that, but apparently that didn't work. So let's try again. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the Opendime from the computer, and then I'm going to reconnect it. I'm going to eject it, and then I'm going to reconnect it, and we'll see if the random number generator created a private key for us. All right, let's see what we got. Oh yes. See, now look at the contents of the drive are completely different. And we have a QR code, which is a QR code of the address that's been created on the Opendime. And when I go to this index.htm, it's going to be a different page altogether. And there it is. That is the address that we're going to send Bitcoin to on this Opendime. Each Opendime apparatus or device only has one address that you can send to. So you can send as much Bitcoin as you want to this address. And this address, if you notice, is what's called a legacy address. It's a very old format, and the fees to send to it, unfortunately, are as high as they get for Bitcoin, which can be fairly minimal. But sometimes when fee levels are higher, this could be pretty significant, particularly if you only want to put, $5 of Bitcoin on it. So we're going to find out what those fees are in a minute. All right, let's check the balance. Here comes the balance. Oh, the balance is nothing yet. All right, we can check on chain how many transactions have occurred, but of course, nothing has occurred yet. I'm going to send some Bitcoin to this address and I will be right back. Okay, I sent $10 of Bitcoin for a ridiculous fee of 40 or 50%, but the fees are high right now because the halving is coming up. You can see here that I checked the balance on the Opendime and it says 15,742 sats, 0.0015742 Bitcoin on this address. Unconfirmed, but hopefully that will happen soon enough. And we can check over here on mempool.space to see where the transaction is. And it is in the most recent block that it is working on. Hopefully it'll stay there and not get pushed over to this block, etc. And in approximately 9 minutes, it should be confirmed, at least one confirmation, and then I will get back. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. While that transaction is cooking, I thought it might be a good idea to go over the contents of the Opendime device, at least what's in that little hard drive that's on the desktop. So this is the first level. Again, there's a QR code that you can use to scan to send Bitcoin to. Talked about this index.htm, which is the website that shows you the payment address of the device. And then there's the private key, which is not accessible at the moment because we haven't broken the seal on the device or broken the piggy bank yet. There's the address in text form. Sorry, they keep opening off the screen. I'm not sure what this is. Oh yeah, I'm not sure exactly what this is. It's a bit of Python code that I think is running, and I think it has to do with the verification of the device. I'm not sure about that. These are the instructions on how to operate the device, and I've read through these. There are 2 lights that flash on the device, and I'll show you that in a little clip. There's a green light and there's a red light, and they have different patterns. A green with brief flickers means that the device is sealed and your funds are secure. Red and green alternating means it's unsealed. That is, after you break the piggy bank and pierce the device, it will be a red and green alternating light. Solid green with a brief flash of red is not yet loaded with enough entropy. That means you have to add a photograph or the random numbers to the hard drive. And a green flashing fast means it's writing or reading the drive. And there's a file listing, and that's it. Pretty simple instructions. They're right here, and we're following those as we go along. You can verify the device here in one of these folders. This is the support items for the Opendime site, and the advanced folder has checksum and verification text files as well. And that's it. That's on the drive. Let's go ahead and check the transaction to see if it's been verified. Unconfirmed. Let me refresh this page. Unconfirmed. So it's going to be a little bit more time, and I will come back after it confirms. See you in a minute. Okay, we're back. The transaction finally got processed. It's the next day. It's not quite 24 hours, but the fee I attached to the transaction wasn't enough to be processed in the next block. And then it got moved and moved and moved and moved and moved and finally just disappeared off the page because the prices for the transactions spiked. I guess people were minting ordinals, and that always spikes the prices. So finally it got processed. So it's the next day. Anyway, let's take a look here at index.htm on the Opendime little drive and see what we have. And we're going to check the balance. Here we go. 15,000 sats on that address. I've only sent one transaction. It was $10 and the fee was $10. So the fee was actually as much as the transaction, which is not great, but that's just what happens sometimes. There's $10 worth of Bitcoin, or a little less than $10 worth of Bitcoin on this Opendime. And what I'm going to do now is pretend I'm going to hand it to somebody and give them a gift of $10 worth of Bitcoin. And I'll show you how they would then deactivate the card by piercing the little hole or destroying the little circuit on the board. And then I'll put it back in the computer and show you what that's like. Let's take a look and see how we pierce that board. Okay, so I have a pin of sorts. It's my wife's earring. Hopefully I won't break it. And the Opendime here. The hole is right here that I need to pierce, and it pushes out this little resistor on the other side and changes the configuration of the little computer on here, and the software recognizes it and makes some changes and produces a private key that you can then use to sweep the funds to a software wallet. So let's see if we can pierce this. I'm going to have to push this down. Okay, I'm pushing pretty hard. There it goes. So I don't know if you can see that, but the little resistor is broken off the board. I'll push it even farther. Okay, the resistor is broken off the board, and I'm going to put it back in the machine and see what happens. Here's the response to the insertion of the Opendime back into the computer. You can see the red and green lights flashing. That indicates that the seal is broken and that it has produced, or at least allowed, access to the private key that's stored on the device. Let's take a look on the computer. All right, I opened up the Opendime hard drive icon on the desktop, and this is the contents of the drive now. Doesn't appear much has changed. Let's go to index.htm again, see what that says. Uh-oh, unsealed. Do not send more funds to this address. So that is new, obviously, and send to any address. This is new. That's cool. This is obviously the address that the payment was sent to, and the private key is new as well. So that's pretty neat. So we can use this private key to restore a wallet to a software wallet, or we can send it from this wallet, so to speak, to any address, which is fantastic. And let me click on that and see what it says. Send out funds, wallets which support private key sweep. Copay wallet, Electrum wallet, Bitcoin Core, and Bread wallet. Well, I'm pretty sure Bread wallet isn't available anymore. I'm not sure about Copay wallet. I've never heard of that. I am familiar with the Electrum wallet, but I've never used it. And Bitcoin Core is very bare bones wallet that comes with the running a Bitcoin node locally, which is something that I do. So I'm familiar with that as well. So that's interesting. Let's go back again. So it's not really send to any address. You use this key to sweep the funds or restore a wallet using another wallet. All right, let's try to use the private key to restore this to another hot wallet and see what happens. I'm going to copy this and I'll be right back. I've downloaded and installed the Electric wallet because I wasn't having any luck with other wallets that I have already installed. I launched the application and this is what I was met with. So I haven't gone any farther and I'm going to walk through this with you. This is the configuration file, I'm assuming. Next, I want to import a private key. So I'm going to click this, and I don't know if this will work, but we'll find out. And then it says import Bitcoin addresses, enter a list of Bitcoin addresses or a list of private keys. So I'm going to go get the private key and then paste it in here and see what happens. Okay, I'm going to paste it in here. That's a good sign. I'll press next. Choose a password to encrypt my wallet keys. Okay, I have a new password in the clipboard. going to paste that in here, encrypt the wallet file. There's an update available. I'll download that in a minute. And it looks like the Bitcoin is in here. That's really cool. And now I can send it to any wallet I want. And that's it. So that's how you sweep the funds from the Opendime. It's a little wonky. It's called the Electrum wallet, and it's very popular among hardcore Bitcoiners. It's been around for a long time, and it has a lot of functionality, but it is not super intuitive. You just need to work with it for a while. So think of this little device like a Bitcoin piggy bank. And unfortunately, I can't strongly recommend it for a gift because the person who the person who receives this really needs to know how to use the Electrum wallet and how to pierce this, which is not super easy. And it's just not a great design. I'm going to do a video on the Opendime version 2, which is called the Sats card, and look for that coming up. But right now, I can't recommend this as a gift for someone, especially someone who's not familiar with Bitcoin. I'm sorry to say that. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Don't forget to leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on what you think of the Opendime, and I will see you in the next video.